Okay, so we're going to look at group data sets, and just looking at mean and mode. We'll cover median of group data sets in another video. Mean and mode are not all that different. The biggest difference when you're looking at group data sets is the fact that all of your scores are in grouped intervals. Now what this means is there's a frequency of 2 for the 0 to less than 10. What that means is there are 2 scores between 0 and less than 10. We don't know what they are though. Down here there are 9 scores between 20 and less than 30. We don't know exactly what they are. So what we do in order to then be able to estimate within reason, mean, mode and median, is we use the midpoint. So the first thing we need to do is look at the upper and lower class boundaries. So this one here, the 0, the ones on this side, this is the lower class boundary. And this one here, the 10, or on these sides, the 20, the 30, the 40, this is the upper boundary. Now basically, they're just the edges of that group. What we're going to do is we're going to assume a distribution, just because that's all we can do, assume a distribution that is a normal distribution. Symmetrical, you would have looked at. So that means that the distribution looks like this. So that means that this is the center here, and that there's a fairly even number of data on either side. So if there's 5 data pieces between 10 and less than 20, that there'd be 1 around halfway, and maybe 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 2 a bit bigger, 2 a bit smaller, so that the distribution is fairly simple. That way, using the midpoint gives us a fairly good approximation, because we're just using this one here. Okay, in order to work out the midpoint, basically what you're going to do is you're going to add the upper boundary and the lower boundary, and you're going to divide by 2. So for this first one, 0 plus 10 divided by 2. So that's 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Then you'll have 10 and 20. So 10 plus 20 is 30, divided by 2, 15. So 5, 15, and then what we'll find is 25 and 35 are our midpoints. Okay, so once we've got our midpoints, we can look at doing our FX column. So that's the frequency times the X, which for grouped data is not our score, it is our midpoint. Okay, because we need that single digit, we can't use a group. Okay, so 2 5s, 10, 5 15s, 75, and so forth. 25 times 9, 225, 8 times 35, 280. And what I'm going to do is this is the sum of fx. This one here, the sum of f, because we added them all up. The sum of fx is 590. And then we just do our cumulative frequency. So basically we start at 2, because our frequency is 2. Then we add on another 5, so that makes it 7. Then we add on another 9, 16. And then we add on 8 more, 24. Check that they match. Yep. Our cumulative frequency at the end is the same as our total frequency. Okay, so now we can work out the mean and the mode. Now, basically, mode, all we do for mode, and all we really can do, is find the modal group. So when we say the modal group, it is the group where you have the most data occurring. So all you do is look for the group that has the highest frequency. So 20 to less than 30 is our modal group. We can't actually give a score. We can just identify the modal group. This is where the mode falls, is what we're sort of saying. Well, not where the mode falls. This is the group with the highest frequency, and that's as close to mode as we can get with the group scores. What we're going to look at now is the mean. So the mean, we're still going to use our same formula. So x bar is equal to the sum of fx over the sum of f. So the sum of fx, 590, over the sum of frequency, 24. So this is just like when we did large data sets. The only difference is instead of our score being x and f, our midpoint is our x. But we use the same formula and the same steps. So 590 divided by 24 gives us 24.58, and I've rounded that to 2 decimal places. Therefore, about 24.58. So the mean is about 24.58, or approximately 24.58. Okay, so that is mean and mode for group data sets. So make sure you understand that we have our extra column here, midpoint, and why we have that. And that you understand how to work out mode and mean using your group data set frequency table.